we'll go on to, before we go on, I'd like to ask a question. And I want you, brothers and sisters, to answer these questions. I need your help, and I just want you to answer them according, to what you, think. How do you think that Asa feels about the mighty king, when he comes against him? What do you think it made him feel? Fear. What else do you think made him, he was scared, right? He was scared. He was fearful. What else do you think he probably felt? He may have felt a lot of things. He may have felt helpless, at this time for what he was, he's seen this mighty king coming across him and said, hey, I'm scared, I'm helpless. He might have felt, weak, from, I don't know what, if past experience, he should have felt strong, but in this moment, he felt weak. And then powerless, he felt like he had no power over this. So we'll see what he did later on. And we're going to go to verse 2 and verse 3 together, respectively. We're going to read verse 2 and verse 3. Verse 2 says, Then Asa brought silver and gold from the treasuries of the house of the Lord and of the king's house, and sent to Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, who dwelt in Damascus, saying, Let there be a treaty between you and me, and there was between my father and your father. See, I have sent you silver and gold. Come, break your treaty with Baasha, king of Israel, so that he will withdraw from me. Asa here, he seeks help from Ben-Hadad, who is, the king of Israel, to overcome his problems. He's, king of Syria, I'm sorry. This Syrian king, he was a mighty king. He was, the biggest probably at this time. This is probably why, one of the reasons, why he did go to him. But why do you think, that he did go to him besides that? What are other reasons, that he probably went to the king of Syria with his debate, with Israel? Why do you think, brothers and sisters? Because maybe, he was so great. Like I said, that was one of the main things. He had a great army. He was so vast. He was so great. And he was so powerful. They were a great, powerful country. And he had already had this connection. The king of Syria, Ben-Hadad had already had this connection with Israel. So he probably seen this as a plus for him. Let's go on to verses 4 and 5. Verse 4 says, So Ben-Hadad heeded King Asa, and sent the captains of his armies against the cities of Israel. They attacked Ijon, Dan, Abel-maim, and all the stored cities of Naphtali. Now it happened when Baasha heard it, that he stopped building Ramah and ceased his work. Here we see the reason, Asa confided so much in Syria and its king. Because they were so powerful. Even enough to go against 4 cities, brothers and sisters, 4 cities at once. It says, Ijon, they attacked Ijon, Dan, Abel-maim, and all the stored cities of Naphtali. This is a great, serious nation, that, the powerhouse at this time. But, how do you think this made, Asa feel when he heard the news? How do you think he made him feel when he heard the news that these cities were being attacked now from the king that he had went to originally to help him out? Maybe, he may have felt relieved. He may have felt relieved from that. He's like, hey, it's finally, he's getting attention off of me now. Now the fight's on him. Or maybe he's feeling less stressful, because he, that same reason, because it's not all that attention is not on him anymore. But I think another thing would be he's probably thankful, to Syria. Thinking, thank you, for helping me out in this situation. And these are times, that this is the king of Asa, he probably did really appreciate it, what was happening. And we'll go on to verse 6. Verse 6 says, in chapter 16 in the book of 2 Chronicles reads, Then King Asa took all Judah, and they carried away the stones and timber of Ramah, which Baasha had used for building. And with them he built Geba and Mizpah. Now that Baasha is out of the picture, Asa goes out to take the spoils. There was enough material, brothers and sisters, to build 2 cities out of this, one town that he was trying to build to keep out people from coming in and going out of Judah. There was enough material to build 2 cities in Judah. And what do you think? Do you think that the king was happy? Do you think he was happy about this decision? This decision that he made to look for help from Baasha, or from the king of Syria? And why? Why do you think he was happy? It's probably yes. I'm probably sure he was. It's probably yes, because they were rewarded. They were rewarded at the time, and the situation looked to be getting better. Looked to be getting better at the time. They're like, it's great. Now, we don't have to worry about this, confrontation anymore. We have to, we have some kind of relief now, like we pointed out earlier. Let's go to verse 7 and 8. Verse 7 and 8. And it says, and at that time, Hanani the seer came to Asa, king of Judah, and said to him, because you have relied on the king of Syria and have not relied on the Lord your God, therefore the army of the king of Syria has escaped from your hand. Verse 8 reads, were the Ethiopians and the Lupim not a huge army with very many chariots and horsemen? He's asking them, he's asking the king this. Were not they a great nation? A great, greater, just as great as these? Yet because you relied on the Lord, he delivered them into your hand. He's saying, even though they were so great, he still gave them to you. But now in the situation, you did not rely on the Lord, but you relied on this king that seemed to be stronger. Instead of looking for help from the Syrians, King Asa and the people of Judah had the ability to actually overtake them, and their king, King Ben-Hadad, and the powerful Syrian army. They had that much power, the ability to do that. But do you think, Asa was feeling any remorse, brothers and sisters? Do you think he was feeling any kind of regret for putting his trust in the Syrians? I think there's onto this part, it's probably yes and no. Yes and no. There's probably yes, because he knew, and he now knew that, he could have overcame them. He could have overcame even the Syrians. That's why he probably felt that kind of remorse. He's probably thinking, he's probably thinking to himself, I could have actually took these people out instead of, actually having them help me. I could have overcame them. I was, had this ability through God. But then, he should have said no. He could have said no and said, what? No, because, I wanted, what I wanted to happen happened. So I'm kind of glad I went to him. So it could have went both ways. But let's find out, later on. And this is the key verse, brothers and sisters. This is the key verse in this chapter, in verse 9. And where the first part of it, where we get what, the seer wanted to express to King Asa. He tells him, for the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to show himself strong on behalf of those whose heart is loyal to him. In this you have done foolishly. Therefore, from now on you shall have wars. Verse 10 says, then Asa was angry with the seer and put him in prison, for he was enraged at him because of this. And Asa oppressed some of the people at that time.